Good morning. It is that time again. Welcome to Daybreak Plus on WGRZ Plus. And yeah, this is what we've been looking like all morning long.
Yeah, this is the North Grand Island Bridge camera.
Sure it is.
Sure it is.
Sure it is. Take our word for it.
This is Bangladesh. It could be. It could be Madagascar. You can't see anything.
You know, that's what we always talk about, let's get warmer temperatures.
Yeah.
But this is what happens.
Yes, you melt the snow a little bit, and that adds moisture to the atmosphere, and you get the fog. It hasn't been terribly widespread. Like downtown Buffalo is a lot better, but yeah.
Just over the water for the most part.
Close to the river, yeah, the one.
There you go.
There we go. All right, so here we go.
You know.
I will see you in a second.
All right.
We're going to dive through the next couple of days here. Today, cloudy, murky, we'll call it, with some rain showers after 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon into tonight or this evening. That rain will quickly change to snow briefly as it moves out. And then tomorrow will be cooler, so we're going to refreeze all of this. And it will get a little icy tomorrow, 29. So there's the downtown. That's actually the airport. The downtown's okay. The airport is now down to 1/10 of a mile, near zero visibility in Jamestown, Olean, and the Falls. There are areas that are not foggy at all, but again, where it is very, very dense to be sure. Okay, out of the fog and the low clouds, we're getting a little sprinkle or some drizzle. This system here is going to impact us this evening, but in the form of some rain. Okay, it's going to warm up before it gets here, and we'll see temperatures cruise into the 40s. There's some of the rain moving through this afternoon and evening, mixing to snow. See this briefly, and then it heads out of here. And then we're left with tomorrow, a cooler day with a couple of snow showers potentially moving through, and that will lead us to a cooler Tuesday. And then Wednesday looks pretty quiet before the next system approaches for Thursday, and that's one to watch. Okay, more on that coming up. Cloudy skies today, a few rain showers this afternoon and evening. 43 Gowanda, 41 in East Aurora, 41 in Buffalo. Tomorrow, with a few snow showers around, temperatures in the mid-20s. So a almost 15 to 20 degree drop in temperatures tomorrow compared to today. All right, now we have Thursday, okay? Overnight, Wednesday night, Thursday. Next system approaches, and it could spread some sleet or freezing rain over us on Thursday morning, okay? It won't last very long, but the timing could impact the Thursday morning commute, something to watch. There are no advisories or headlines out for this now, but this is something we're going to watch. And the rain kind of takes over after that, so Thursday will get a little damp. And then another system rolls in for the weekend that has a better chance of bringing snow our way Saturday into Sunday. All right, cloudy with some drizzle, light rain late, light winds, low to mid 40s today. Overnight tonight, rain showers changing to snow and temperatures in the 20s with a northeast breeze. Long range forecast, there are a few snow showers around Tuesday, Wednesday dry, Thursday. Again, there could be some freezing rain in the morning, changing to rain. That's what this little icon here is, a raindrop snowflake combo. Then on Friday, cooler. Saturday, snow develops. We could see a few hours of warmer air coming in, and that could change the snow to rain for a bit, potentially, and then back to some snow showers on Sunday. For the south towns in the southern tier, we're going to see, again, some rain showers later today, some snow showers tomorrow. Wednesday, cooler, 20s to around 30. Thursday, freezing rain in the morning or sleet. We'll have a better idea of which one it is. Freezing rain is a raindrop that pretty much freezes once it hits the ground. Sleet are little pieces of ice, as you know, that come down. All right, Friday, cooler. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to bring in that chance of some weekend snow, and this isn't the lake effect stuff. This is kind of area-wide snow, Pete, for Saturday and possibly Super Bowl Sunday too.
All right, so we've got ice, snow, slush, ice, snow. It's really a precipitation parfait that we're looking at this week, right?
Precipitation parfait. I love that. A plethora of precipitation we call a parfait.
Very good. Very good. Now that we got that straightened out, it appears The Sabres have at least got part of their game straightened out and make it 3 in a row for the Buffalo Sabres. They have won each game of the homestand over the last week. The Sabres got off to a hot start yesterday with goals from Tage Thompson, J.J. Peterka, and that one, Ryan McLeod, scoring as shorthanded in the first period. Jason Zucker adds that one in the second. And then the Sabres were able to hold on defensively to seal the deal with a 4-3 win. But the moment in the game that's got everyone talking is that right there, Tage Thompson taking that nasty headshot from Stefan Nason in the third period. Nason was kicked out of the game, and we'll likely hear from the league about that. But social media has erupted for what the Sabres didn't do. Not one player on the ice at the time, or for the rest of the game for that matter, retaliated for the dirty hit. And here's how some key members of the team addressed the situation after the game.
Probably didn't know who it was. I don't know. We have to work on that. That's a thing that cannot happen.
You're not going to go do something that's going to cost our team a win when you don't know what happened. So I could have dropped my gloves and go try to fight someone, but I'm going to get a 2, a 5, and a 10 for instigating. I'm going to get kicked out of the game. If I respond differently after he hits me after my goal, I'm going to take a penalty, and that's going to cost us possibly. So a lot of the time, the best response is to not do anything. I think it's a little bit different on the Tomer hit. I don't think anyone had a clear view of it. Talking to guys that weren't playing said even the broadcast didn't really catch it till late. So it's easy to say there was no response, but personally, I disagree with that.
I didn't watch.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. And we just started to hear from Lindy. Lindy. So one of the reporters in the room asked him, started to ask him whether it would send a message to people outside, other teams but the reason I say started to is because he only got about 5 words out of his mouth. And Lindy used a farming term, I think it was.
Yes.
For, manure. But it was a different term.
A different term.
That we can't say on TV.
No.
And he used it 3 times. So Lindy was saying, but everyone's talking on social media. We need a response. The team is getting pushed around. But I kind of agree with Zucker. You're going into a 5-minute power play. Granted, they got scored on in that power play, and it wasn't great, but it's a tight game. Do you want to blow the game to send a message when you don't know, because the play was so far, the hit was so far behind the play?
He said nobody knew who hit him. The broadcast didn't even really know. So it's like you fight to fight, but you don't know who to go after.
Right.
And then if you end up, that hurts your team. I kind of, when I first was listening to Paul Hamilton and other commentators talk about the reaction, it seemed kind of like, was this a missed opportunity for the team?
And I agree with that aspect of it. It's you've got to send a message, but the problem is, and this reveals another problem with this roster doesn't have the personnel to send that message.
Yeah.
I mean, Denny Gilbert's the only one who really has shown a passion for dropping the gloves and has kind of sent a message in other games, but he was out of the lineup. He was a healthy scratch.
And then you remind me if this is the right player, but didn't Devon Levi do this last year and kind of instigated a fight? Then he broke his jaw in the process.
No, Devon Levi is the goalie.
Oh, he's the goalie.
Dylan Cousins.
I'm sorry.
Dylan
Cousins.
Yeah.
And then he injured himself and then never really was the same since.
So I think, I will meet halfway. I think the roster needs to be built with a little bit of toughness, a little more toughness into it. But, as far as yesterday, they won the game. They're on a 3-game roll. So I will take a victory over that anytime. But let's build some toughness. All right, let's move over to the Bills, shall we? Hopefully this makes the Buffalo Bills Mafia feel slightly better. We've already pointed out there was some questionable ball placement during the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. Time after time, it looked like the referees were placing the ball behind where it was supposed to be, at least from Bill's perspective. Well, the NFL plans to look into the issue this offseason and eliminate those questions. According to the Washington Post, the NFL is considering an electronic system that would help determine if the ball was spotted for a first down. There's already a coin-sized chip inside the NFL game balls, but it's not used to measure first downs. and to spot the ball, because the placement of the football isn't the only factor in determining whether the line to gain was actually reached. So,
Wait, they already put chips in the balls?
Yep.
For what reason?
Analytics. You know, how far the ball, how fast, you know, velocity, that sort of thing.
I was always wondering how they knew the velocity of a ball. Or,
Yeah. But right now, I think with the building an electronic grid has the potential of eliminating a lot of those questions.
Right.
So, and the technology is there, so why not?
And, you know, a similar situation is in the game of tennis. You know, oftentimes when there's a ball right on the line, they can zoom it in, slow down, and take a better look. Obviously, in a scrum, it's hard to see exactly where the ball is.
Right.
But it's a game of millimeters, and in tennis it's that short, and game of inches in football. So hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, well, hopefully everyone around the league sees the perspective that Bills fans.
But why does it have to be Bills games where these new rules get their start?
How much time do we have? All right. Well, the Bills will also spend the next couple of months reflecting on how the season ended and also ways to improve. But one of the items not on the list for Bills general manager Brandon Beane is the trade that brought that guy, brought Amari Cooper to Buffalo midway through the season. Beane says that when you add a piece to your offense, it's more about what that move does for the group as a whole.
Read a stat, or it was sent to me, but basically where the games that Amari played in, our offense averaged 7-point-something more points a game. And so I do think Amari helped our offense. Did he put up all-pro numbers in the games he was here? No. I think that's for various reasons.
All right, so Beane went on to credit Cooper for learning the offense while also dealing with a wrist injury at the time. But, you know, in an everybody eats type of approach, you know, it's about who else is getting open because of Cooper's presence.
Exactly. I mean, it may have freed up other players. Yeah, he didn't have that stat that was so meaningful. When Amari was in the game, we scored an extra touchdown.
Right. Exactly. So that's good. All right. Well, we are celebrating Western New York and the Buffalo Bills Foundation. They held a screening of Unbelievable at the Riviera Theater in North Tonawanda. As you might already know, it's a comedy all about Bills Mafia and the team winning the Super Bowl one day. One before I die, right? The event commemorates the 60th anniversary of the Bills beating the Chargers to become the American Football League champs.
17 games, that team, between 64 and 65, 17 games consecutively without giving up a single rushing touchdown. Try to imagine that. It's still a record to this day, by far. I mean, they were amazing. And that was the team that we all kind of started with. And this whole thing kind of exploded, you know, over the years. And we never gave up. And we're always trying to kind of get back to that sweet spot, that 64-65 team. You know, it's like this journey to kind of get back to where we started. And we will. And you know what? And if we don't, boy, it's been awesome.
You know how long ago that was? That was the year I was born.
No kidding. Okay, so
that old.
So that was the year they won the AFL championship. Okay, who were the notable players on that team?
Well, you had Jack Kemp.
Jack Kemp was the
Kowski, Golden Wheels Dubenion, the receiver. There were some notable players in there. Mike Stratton was a big name on that. So, but Jack Kemp is probably the guy everyone pulls out of that team right through the 60s. And Ed Rutkowski, who was his backup quarterback, also went into politics as our county executive here in Erie County. All right, well, it is Super Bowl week, and both competing teams have arrived in New Orleans. The coveted Vince Lombardi Trophy is also in NOLA. This is video of Super Bowl 44 champion Deuce McAllister riding on a carriage and holding the trophy through downtown. What a great town. Dozens of musicians and groups celebrated the arrival of the trophy with what else? A parade. Yeah. The trophy and its name has, however, sparked a debate among sports fans online. In a recent interview, former Patriots head coach Bill Belichick suggested that the trophy should be renamed after Tom Brady. Vince Lombardi is a legendary coach who led the Packers to 5 championships. However, Belichick thinks that the majority of the recognition should go toward the players, hence why he thinks the trophy should be named after Brady. He says, quote, "Players win games. You can't win games without good players. I don't care who the coach is. It's impossible. Those are guys that won the games. Man, I didn't make any tackles. I didn't make any kicks." But I
don't think that happens. I don't know.
No, I don't either, because there will always be the next great player.
Right.
So do you keep changing the name of the trophy? I mean, the Stanley Cup is named after Lord Stanley, who donated the trophy. So I think you need the name of a trophy that stands the test of time.
Exactly.
Whether that's Vince Lombardi, that's up for debate.
And Brady still is currently involved in the NFL, so it's kind of like it just. And a lot of people are going to have an opinion about this, I know, but
really?
it just doesn't make sense. He's in the broadcast booth, and there's a trophy named after the guy calling the game.
Yeah. I mean, given that, they should name the Stanley Cup the Gretzky Trophy.
Yeah, right.
Or the Gordie Howe Trophy, or whatever. But anyway, you debate it at home. But in the meantime, we are celebrating Western New York, and another local artist ready to take the national stage on The Voice. The new season premieres tonight, and it'll feature a Western New York singer who you may have seen or heard over the past couple of weeks, Elliot Hunt, who along with Goo Goo Doll, Robbie Takak, just put out a Buffalo version of the Bills Mafia anthem, Mr. Brightside.
Destiny is calling me.
That was something I never expected to really be a part of.
And so another voyage begins for a Western New York musician.
There was a snow day last year, and I hate doing nothing. So I was scrolling through my phone and saw that they were doing virtual auditions.
So Elliot thought, why not? What have I got to lose? And he sent in an audition and waited. In the meantime, playing shows with his band A Letter to Elise and spending his days as technical director here at SUNY Niagara's Arts and Media Department. And oh yeah, planning another major life event, something that came into play when he finally got the call from The Voice. You moved your wedding.
Yeah. Well, me and my wife moved my wedding. It was a crazy thing. We were actually going in to talk about our bridal shower party. And so my whole family was there, and just as I was pulling in, I got a call from one of the casting directors saying, "Hey, so we see that you have your wedding on this date. That's when we're going to be filming. So what can you do?"
Yeah, at that point, he was walking into the venue planning to tell his family that he got the call, but he was going to turn it down, and it's fine because there would be other opportunities.
And my wife stopped me mid-sentence and said, "Oh no, we're changing the wedding. You're doing this thing."
And so the adventure began. They pushed the wedding back a few weeks, and while he and Alexandria took this major step, they waited to find out if he was going to take a big leap in his musical career. And the answer was yes.
You have all these artists that come from different backgrounds. I see myself as like the gigging musician who, plays these 3-hour cover shows here, and then the next day you play the acoustic shows, and then we're also surrounded by artists who have never played a gig. They've made music in their bedroom, and they've played the streaming game and all of that. So it was really cool to see how we were all pirates, but in different ways.
Excitement only grew with the success of West Seneca's Sydney Sterlace last season. Elliot says the whole experience pushed his creative boundaries.
For me, that whole experience was crazy because I've never played a gig by myself. I think a stage should be shared, and that whole experience, you're kind of alone through it all.
Alone, except for a little message from home before he took the stage.
There's going to be a little message from Robbie there.
Yeah, they called me up and asked me to do a little video for him, so I was like, "Give him hell, kid."
He kind of chimed in just before I went up there, and that definitely calmed my nerves.
And another thing that calmed his nerves is that they let him play his guitar as he sang. And then, after his performance,
a lot of tears. You'll see Mr. Hunt comes in because, they fly your family down.
Yeah.
And, we broke down too many times.
Yeah, now, whether those are tears of joy or disappointment, you're just going to have to tune into this season of The Voice. As for whether he'll be on tonight or next week, we haven't found that out yet.
So he's not allowed to reveal whether he made the show or not? Or did he? He did?
He made the show.
He made the show,
He's
okay.
going to be on the show.
Okay.
He's not allowed to reveal how he does
how
or
far-
anything
right,
like that.
okay.
And he wasn't even over the summer, because Sarah and I were at the wedding.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah, and we got this message that the date has changed. He wasn't even able to reveal why the wedding was changed or anything like that. So they were finally able to reveal it a couple of weeks ago that, hey, he's going to be on The Voice. So it's, yeah. So a lot of people are going to be tuning in for that, I'm sure.
So all of the tape segments have been done. Then it goes to live in March or something.
Yeah, yeah. Then,
okay.
Then it's you know, because Sydney made the live version and went pretty far, Final Four. So
Sure did. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we now know who's going to be leading the St. Patrick's Day Parade down Delaware Avenue this year. It'll be Father David Richards. He's been named this year's Grand Marshal. Father David has been a chaplain for the United Irish American Association since 2009, and he says he's proud to represent Buffalo's Irish.
It's been a long time coming. I started, I think, as chaplain of our committee since 2009, and so it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to lead the parade, and that's why it's so special for me, especially representing the beautiful South Buffalo, the Irish heartbeat of Western New York. Yeah, the importance of the parade, to me, it comes down to three words: faith, family, and fun, right? So, you know, faith, we have this beautiful Saint Patrick who introduced a lot of people to God in his ministry as bishop, and it's a great time to celebrate not only him, but to model what he did in being Jesus for others in our culture. Also, you know, family, I think it's a beautiful family event. I think of Western New York as a great city of good neighbors, as we all know that we're known as, and it's a beautiful day where the whole city can get together and celebrate the family that we are.
Yep, that'll be on the 16th, and then we'll all have another parade on the 17th to celebrate Patrick's Day.
That's
St. Patrick's Day.
This is Patrick's Day.
Patrick's birthday is on the 17th.
There's been a lot of those birthdays I'm now realizing, but yeah. Anyway, congratulations to him, and that's going to be a fun parade.
All right, another one of your favorite holidays.
So I'm headed back down. There's a shadow up here. Get ready for 6 more weeks of winter this year.
There you go. Punxsutawney Phil saw his shadow, and questions of his accuracy are throwing shade on his big day. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration found that Punxsutawney Phil's prediction, well, they're only 35% accurate. Meanwhile, Western New York's own Dunkirk Dave predicted an early spring today, while Buffalo Bert predicted 6 more weeks of winter over the weekend. They both did that. So 6 more weeks of winter, early spring. I think it's kind of the same thing, don't you think, Patrick?
6 more weeks of winter, we'll take that, right? By the way, it's looking like kind of a mild stretch, but an active stretch of weather to kind of enter February, with an opportunity, we think, the second half of February to get cold again. So this delayed spring may be the real deal. All right, visibility pretty low in spots. It is foggy out there for sure. Downtown doesn't have the worst of it. It's along the water's edge, closer to Grand Island, and then down into the southern tier as well. So rather murky today, some late rain, big temperature swings this week. Some days in the 40s, some days in the 20s. And overnight lows pretty cold too. With that temperature change, freezing rain a possibility on Thursday morning. So something we're going to watch, freezing rain or sleet, okay? Nothing happening now. The rain that's coming is this precipitation here, a stripe of heavy snow in northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan. It's going to drop down on us or kind of like skirt just to the north of us. And we're going to be on the warmer side of it, so we'll see some light rain, it looks like, this afternoon and evening. Future look depicts that pretty well. See those showers? That will change to snow overnight tonight and be out of here by tomorrow morning. Okay, so minor accumulations expected. But notice tomorrow, much, much colder with temperatures in the 20s to around 30. So 40s today. A couple of snow showers are possible tomorrow, or flurries. Wednesday looks dry but colder. Thursday, some freezing rain or sleet that changes to rain, okay? Friday, colder And then a system that we're watching for the weekend looks pretty wintry this weekend at this point, so some snow is possible. For the south towns in the southern tier, similar outlook. Again, a heads up for Thursday, as you know, freezing rain or sleet can cause very slippery roads, as we know, so that is something we're going to keep an eye on for Thursday.
Yeah, or as we like to call them, unplanned left turns.
Exactly. You're right. I didn't make that left turn, my car did.
That's right. All right. Well, a new immersive experience at Rockefeller Center lets you host Saturday Night Live. Yeah, from entering the main stage doors to sitting in the hot seat on Weekend Update, Adam Cooperstein shows us a new way you can go behind the scenes on that iconic set.
So we're so excited to have you guys as hosts for the evening.
For the first time, fans are getting a first-hand look at a true SNL experience.
Yes.
From the signature headshots to the dressing rooms and cue cards.
This is where they make the cue cards.
The attention to detail in this recreation of Studio 8H is impressive. Even the tickets look like the real thing. And they were free. But the 4-day pop-up sold out in 10 minutes.
I've never actually been to a taping of the show because getting tickets to that is impossible. So I feel like this is the next best thing.
Every guest gets to feel what it's really like to host Saturday Night Live with real touches from the show, like the gnome you rub the nose of for good luck. And you're backstage, you come through the door, the band is playing, the lights are hot. You got to hit your mark, look down here. And then the dolly rolls over, the camera's on, and we are live from New York. It's Saturday night.
It was like playing pretend on steroids.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's going to be a great memory, and it's going to be something that I'm definitely going to tell my friends about.
the interactive experience uses live actors, shuttling you from room to room, true to the spirit of this well-orchestrated whirlwind of a show. After the monologue, you get a shot to host Weekend Update.
Hey, I'm calling Joe's.
And after you pass by props, many of them straight from the real studio, you step into sketches. Party on, like Wayne and Garth, and get gift wrap for that iconic musical sketch featuring Justin Timberlake. You know the one.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And while this may be your first time hosting, in the end, everyone's invited to kick back and celebrate in the Five Timers Club.
That is so cool. All right. Well, looking ahead to tomorrow, our Natalie Foss got the chance to pay a visit to some exceptional students at West Seneca West. Aren't they all exceptional students at West Seneca West? That's what Kevin O'Neill keeps telling me. Where every morning they put on a morning show of their own, complete with feature stories, anchors, reporters, even the weather. The entire production, start to finish, is run by students. And Natalie joins us now to tell us a little bit more about this a really impressive operation they got going there.
Yeah, so I walked in and I expected like a camera and like a couple of kids like running around. First of all, I walked into the school and there were kids running around with like equipment that looks like our equipment, like real life cameras, mics, and they're like interviewing people. And then I get to their classroom and it's like a mini set. Like it's just looks like just like ours. They have teleprompters, they have a desk, and they have a control room. They're like switchers, all of that, and it's all the students. It's crazy.
That's impressive.
They're
It's
so
very
cool.
impressive.
Yeah, I'm super.
We didn't have that. That is really cool. And I so what do they gain out of this? I mean, I'm assuming this is just an opportunity in broadcasting, but journalism as well.
Yeah, so it's a class that they can take, and they have to take a couple prerequisites before they can take TV. As a junior, they take the TV course, and then as a senior, they can actually take an English course that counts as their English credit, and they get to do TV, so it's more of like the writing, the producing, that sort of thing.
We should have taken that English course, you and me.
No doubt.
I'm like, can we grab a seat, actually?
But it's funny because people always say, well, how did you get started? I went to a school that had a broadcasting major.
Yeah.
Performing arts, we had media arts, and we had the same thing with the studio. And granted, it was all black and white and on film because this was the dark ages. But we'll have a fireside chat pretty soon, young lady. But no, we had actual videotape.
Yeah.
Yeah, no digital. But it's incredible that just that little opportunity can kind of pave the way for your future.
100%. Yeah, I took a topographic map and taped it to my door. And then I had some flashlights acting as studio lights. And that was the only like practice I could do in weather. So to have, and I did this at home, to have this professional
It's
setup
incredible.
in high school is amazing.
They were so cool, and their teacher, like, they do a couple practice runs, and he kind of helps them out. But then when that show starts, it's sink or swim. They do it all. It's from start to finish. They do it all. It was so cool. They were really cool.
Awesome. I love that.
That is cool.
Now, my only direction to them is you're not allowed to come for my job until I'm done with it.
Right.
Take care. Thanks for joining us on Daybreak Plus.